Hello everyone, today we have our translating duo GTea and LD back with us to give us an update on their novel, Young Noble Be Monster Slaying.
Honestly, I'm so glad. Tokki, I'm so glad you're the one introducing the novel because I always want to say young master and not young noble.
I mean, I see why you gave me that line. And anyway, welcome back, GLTD.
Welcome,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
so
for having us.
why don't you guys do a quick intro of yourselves and your novel and your drilling?
It's sad. I'm so sorry.
GT is drilling for gold.
Yeah, right now I'm just mining gold. That's what I'm doing. I mine in Minecraft and I mine in Stardew Valley. That's all I do. Oh.
The kids yearn for the mines. The kids yearn for the mines.
Start singing a Minecraft song.
Oi, oi. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work.
So yeah. No.
Nah. Alright, I'm gonna stop the recording now.
I'm so sorry.
Welcome to Wuxiaworld's Teahouse Season 2. I'm your host, Yojj.
And I'm Tokki.
Alright, Tokki, seems like you're leading.
Yep. Okay, let's get started.
Yeah? Are we lagging? What the Tokki's continuing with a new track. We just started. What new track?
What's going on?
I don't know. Tokki? Are you there? Technical difficulty?
This is this recording has been eventful, not gonna lie. First we have
I'm sorry, you guys are cursed.
Just gonna start crying right now.
You guys are cursed.
First we have the drilling, next Tokki's not talking, what's going on? He disappeared on us.
Monster is cursed. He's like question marking right now.
He's gone! He's gone.
On the bright side, GT, I can hear you very well.
Well, I'm speaking louder right now. I'm trying to, increase my volume.
Oh, I see.
Hello?
Hello,
Hi.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, so you can hear us, we just couldn't hear you. Is that what was going on?
I don't know. It just said like a new recording track has been created.
Yeah. Yeah,
Weird.
we gave you the room to talk and it was just dead silent.
And I was talking.
Oh.
You were talking.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Cursed episode.
Anyway.
Yeah, you guys are cursed.
Oh, what can we do?
So,
Alright,
shall we
let's-
take it from the top?
Please. Try
Yeah.
to.
Hello everyone, today we have our cursed translating duo, GT and LD, back with us to give us an update on their novel, Young Noble Be Monster Slaying.
Honestly, I'm so glad you're the one introducing the novel because I always want to say young master and not young noble.
I mean, you've been butchering novel titles since what, the 1990s? Anyway, welcome back, GTLD.
Welcome. It's been a while since you guys were here and we've had an eventful recording already. So why don't you guys do a quick intro of yourselves?
Hi everyone. Thanks for having us back. I'm GT and I've been translating since 2016. Some of the works I've done in the past are 战龙.
Are you boiling egg? Is that an egg timer?
This episode is cursed! It is cursed! Anyway, that was an alarm, but that was not me. I don't know who that was,
Sorry
but
about that.
I hope the egg or the water was good. But yeah, I'm GT, and I've been translating since 2016. So,
Yay. me.
Yeah, and Ali, please introduce yourself.
Well, I am LD. I started dabbling in translation around the same time, but I only officially became a translator last year with Young Noble Be Monster Slaying.
I see. Alrighty, so this week we'll be reviewing Young Noble Be Monster Slaying with GT and LD.
Well, I hope GT and LD are better at this than Namu and Murasaki from Triple S class because we're only looking at their scores today.
GTLD, we have faith in you. Don't be like Namu and Murasaki giving very, very harsh scores. Be generous. Review your novel positively.
Well, expectations.
Yes. Very, I don't know, is it high expectations or low expectations?
High, I guess.
Namu and Murasaki set the bar very low, so we'll see. So, on with the reviewing. First section, plot. Who wants to go first? GT or LD? Who wants to go?
Oh, do you want the more critical review first? I think I reviewed it pretty biasedly.
GT, why'd you give it an 8 out of 10? I thought it sounds like the story is great. Why 8?
The reduction in points. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. Reduction in points is because of the comedy. In the beginning, it did stretch out a bit too much before the central hook or mystery was introduced. So when I started translating it, there was a time that I felt myself getting sick of the comedy. Yeah, so that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. But the good thing is that the author didn't continue that comedy and he started, introducing clues and the central hooks that are being introduced. So that's why I still think it's 8 out of 10. Only 2 points deducted for that. Yep. So It would be more engaging if the author introduced the central hooks sooner. But the rest of the positive points are for the characters and the connections, which make the plot increasingly engaging.
Well, that's nice. That's good. Not too bad. LD, yours is a much higher score.
I mean, I think
9
my review is a bit biased because I like the comedy. So I really like lighthearted novels and comedy novels. So I think this novel isn't for everyone, but if you're looking for a lighthearted novel with a bit of everything and doesn't take itself seriously, this is it. My only complaint is that I would have liked to see a little bit more romance between the main characters or even the side characters, but that's kind of less important.
I feel like that's harsh.
I know,
I feel like that's harsh because this novel
That's
isn't
why
marketed as a romance.
Kind of like a bit of a side point. Yeah. So I really felt bored reading it. I thought that each arc was interesting and some was a lot more epic than the others, but even then, still fairly enjoyable all around. Yeah.
Well, that's good. We're off to a strong start, Tokki. We got 8s and 9s.
So far, so good. Okay, what about next? The characters.
Looks like you guys both gave it full scores 10 out of 10. Damn, you guys love the characters. But why? What's so lovable
every
about them?
character in the novel, even the ones with no names, like Lucky A, Lucky B, they all feel very real, and all of them, you're now at 900, right? And we see how all of them have grown along the main character. So every character is very unique. They have very distinct personality, and but the thing is, the thing that I like about them is that even as they grow, their personalities are very consistent, which, I mean, as it should be. And all of the characters really make the entire plot, the entire novel, just so much better. And I, for example, I want to know what Lucky B is up to, even though I don't even know what his real name is. I mean, they mentioned
You don't remember it.
Just don't remember. Yeah, so everyone just calls him Lucky B, and I like to know what he's up to when the main character is going on his own little journey, you know. And the author actually did write a one chapter in which it's like a bonus chapter of what Lucky B is doing when the MC is actually fighting some enemy. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. LD, do you feel the same?
Basically, it's just like they're so eccentric and they have really distinct personalities and characteristics that make them memorable. Like you might not remember their name. you would remember their personality. Even the bad guys, like yeah. So.
Oh wow. Hey Tokki, you know when we're grading, you're usually like, oh my god, the characters, they don't have backstory. They're only there to support the MC. I feel like you would really love the characters here, because based on what GTea and LD is saying,
I did read like the first few parts of Young Noble, Young Master. Yeah. But one thing I did realize and that I did notice was that the author really put in a lot of efforts into like bringing each and every character to life. Like even the small time villains who just dies after a few chapters. He really did kind of like give them character and like personalities. So yeah, I do really like that.
Oh, high praise. Tokki never praises a character section. He was like, oh, they were good, but they're lacking something. Every time.
Yeah, because one thing I really don't like, I mean, it's not that I don't like it, but like one thing that's kind of lacking with web novels especially is that most side characters are just like fodder, like not FODDER, like fertilizer for the MC's growth, and they serve no other purpose whatsoever. So I
side
kinda
characters, they're gonna die in like 2 chapters.
Yeah, that's actually that's a big appeal in this novel is that the characters do matter and like they do have their own lives. Like it's easy to imagine that they're not just cannon fodder. So you know, character game's strong.
Okay. I mean, Tokki seems like he gives it a 10 out of 10 too. So, win-win. Okay, writing style. Ooh, look at that. You guys are both on the same page again. 9 out of 10s. Wow. Why? What's so great about this that you guys are giving it a 9 out of 10?
I guess I'll go first since I wrote less. Basically, I found that the writing style was generally like quite clear and detailed, and there were descriptions for the reader's pleasure, though they could be a bit much sometimes. I think Tokki would enjoy those. Yeah, so there's probably only one thing that really annoyed me, which is why I give it a 9 out of 10, which is that sometimes the order of events is not right, so that can be a bit confusing. Which is, I guess, also part of the complaint that readers have with the spoiler guideline at the top, but that's kind of like a gag that's ongoing, you know.
Okay. So your pet peeve, your main point is that the writing style kind of spoils.
No, it's kind of like sometimes he would have, like he would start a chapter with like an impactful line of speech, but the speech doesn't actually get spoken until a few paragraphs down. I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, that's annoying. That is really annoying. GT, you seem like you have a lot to say on the writing style.
I'd say that, I mean, I really like the humor, and he really includes like clever references to other books, which shows that he really actually reads a lot of like Chinese literature. And he does repeat like lines for effect. And one thing that I really like about his writing is that he seems to be able to anticipate what the readers wondering, because I would see the readers comment saying, why did this happen? And then in the next paragraph, he would follows up with a very clear explanation. Yeah, so it's very easy to follow the story, and it's consistent, and the writing is smooth. I mean, if we're talking about like the Chinese writing, text writing itself. And yeah, so that's why I give it a 9 out of 10. Everything just all the content that has been included in a certain chapter doesn't feel overdone. Yeah. And I really enjoyed after reading it. So yeah, that's why 9 out of 10.
Wow, that's deep. Remember how when we were reviewing things, Yojj, we were like, I don't like the writing style, it's too messy.
We're like, yeah, there's too many hantas, it's too confusing, it gives me a headache. 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
We're so harsh.
I don't like it. Yeah, it's hard to follow. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. What about the next one, world building?
I would say world building is the favorite. Aside from the characters, right? World building comes in second, in which it's the favorite aspect of this novel.
Hold up, you gave it an 8 though.
Because here's the thing.
Wait, let her cook.
I'm
Let her
a big
cook. Let her
fan
cook.
of
Yeah.
books like Lord of the Rings, and those books have such detailed world building, right? This world building is good, in which I can visualize it. I can see how the characters interact. I can see how the world works. The economy of the world is explained well, and yeah. But the reason for the deduction in points is because I really, really wish that the author can just add more details, like show us how the different organizations trade, how does currency value change, because in the novel itself, there's like supply and demand, and that affects the demand of your currency, talking about economy. So like I wish that he could go more into detail of showing like, hey, if I buy this coin, more of this coin, like how will that affect another organization? And also I hope that he can go into more detail of political tensions between different races and different sects. So I can visualize the world really well with what he has already mentioned, but I just really wish that I could get more details, if just a little more detail, and it would be perfect.
I mean, honestly, after all the diagram that you drew up, I thought you would get 10 out of 10. But yeah, I kind of understand where you're coming from.
I think it's just me personally. I have a high standard because I grew up reading Lord of the Rings, and the author of Lord of the Rings, he would, actually.
Well, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. You're comparing a web novel to Lord of the Rings?
No, but
that's
the thing is,
well, if you ask me,
the thing is, like,
go ahead.
Web novels have, can be as good as, a book like Lord of the Rings. That's I really think it just depends on the author. Every author has the potential to write something like Lord of the Rings, in which the world building is that detailed. And maybe to the point that even some people will complain about how he explains every single description of the scene. This doesn't go into that extent, but I'm not asking for that, but I'm just asking just a little more detail of how the world economy and politics forces work.
I think that's why my rating is higher.
Not that you.
So GT was asking for like So GT was asking for more description, more details, right? And the author be like giving her more details on how to not use the dolls.
LD, what about
I
you?
mean,
I
you're.
see. Yeah, go on, Tokki.
I mean, GT was like, I would love more details on how economy and trade works in this novel. Then the author is like, okay, noted. But yeah, here's how not to use the dolls.
I feel like the author knew his audience, and GT
No,
is not his audience.
I think, you know what, I will just give it a 10 out of 10. Not that, you know, maybe I am being a little bit too harsh. Maybe it's the Asian in me.
Yeah, I think you are, because
No
Lord of the
take back,
Rings had
sis.
Lord of the Rings, you know, had multiple revisions. I'm assuming he had time to think and to write and change things. But yeah, let's compare this novel to
I
I
Lord
mean,
of the
it is a
Rings.
valid point.
Oh,
It
Sounds
is a valid
reasonable.
point, but yeah,
LD.
I am not one who searches that deeply for such details, so I did give it a higher rating. Like I think my focus was more just how the world expanded. It really felt like from chapter 1, the world just kept expanding with each arc, and like everything that the author introduced seemed to have a purpose in the plot, and they did often have fairly detailed backstories. Maybe not as detailed as GT wanted, but it was sufficient for me, and I found it really easy to immerse myself in it. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. So 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10. Perfect. Let's move on to originality. You guys are once again in agreement.
kinda
8
do.
out of 10. Wow, you guys share a brain.
Mm-hmm. We are GLTD
Yeah.
after all.
So yeah. So I see. Who wants to
Okay.
go first? Maybe LD should go first. Maybe you'll be a little bit more reasonable with your
Basically, it was just looking at like the ideas and the tropes. Like they're not particularly unique. They're definitely in other novels, but the way that the author implemented them, I think that was really good. It's like a fresh take on stuff that's being done through and through. Yeah. And that's it. That.
I share the same opinion as LD. The author referenced a lot of other classics, so it is a bit lacking in terms of originality. But yeah, like what LD said, the way that author implemented them is really good, in which sometimes I didn't notice that he's referencing another classic until the end of the story that mentioned it. Then I realized, oh my god, he's talking about this other character in this other classic. And like, let's say the main character is being an imposter, and he would use those other characters' name to do the role of an imposter. Yeah. So I think even though it's not that original, it is still a very good read.
I have a question. LD, when you were saying that the author implements tropes and ideas explored in other novels, are you talking about web novels or classic literature? Because I think GT is talking about classic literature.
I think both. I think many web novels probably also do the same, actually. But in terms of the references, there were a bunch of stuff, and some readers did actually catch on as well, and they seemed to really they found it fun to pick out the references. So I think that's more what GT is talking about.
Tokki, I think we are outclassed by this novel, because normally when we complain about originality, we are complaining about oh, it's another dungeon ranking trope. And over here, these two are saying, oh, he's pulling from classics. We are outclassed.
I haven't seen a lot of novels pull ideas from 50 Shades of Grey. So,
That's nowhere near classic literature.
We're talking about the ancient Chinese classics, not 50 Shades of Grey. Okay.
I didn't think that would be what's coming out of you today. All right, moving on to pacing.
Okay, they
Moving
don't
on
share
to
a brain cell
pacing.
here. Yeah.
Moving.
They don't share a brain
we
cell here.
we don't share a brain cell. Okay.
No, I mean
let's
I'm
move
pacing,
on.
pacing. Okay, pacing.
Ah, okay. Pacing. Oh, jeez. All right, let's go with the. Let's start with the lower score. GT, you gave it a 7 out of 10.
And now I'm wondering if I'm being too
I think it's
harsh.
fair. It's fair.
Oh, it's okay. You're being on it.
Ooh.
It's okay. It's okay. Someone else gave their novel a
I
3
think you're
once.
the author
Wow.
crying right
Oh,
now.
wow.
Yeah, someone gave a
That's
3, by the way.
And then Namu and Murasaki were like,
Oh, wow.
5, 6. So you guys are fine.
They were like, I really enjoyed this part. So I'm
Really
gonna give
enjoyed
it a
equals to
5.
5.
I do wonder. I do wonder. I mean, when I was writing like 7 out of 10 and I saw LD's like 9 out of 10, I was like, oh, should I change it to like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10? And then, but I was thinking like, do I give a 7 out of 10 because of the Asian in me? You know, like harsh criticism, kind of, you know that side of me. I did think about that. Yeah. So, well, to explain why I gave a 7 out of 10, I think the story starts a bit slow in the beginning. Like I mentioned, I got a little bit sick of the comedy in the beginning. I mean, not like I got a little bit sick of how he didn't introduce a main hook. Yeah, so if he had done that quicker, I think I would give it an 8 out of 10. And at this point where we are at chapter 900, the pacing starts feeling a little bit rushed. So some of the developments are happening a little bit too quickly before I can like fully process them. So that's why I gave another point deduction. And I guess technically that's only 2 points, huh? Yeah, so I guess 7 out of 10 is the reason why, but I'd say overall the flow is still pretty good. Yeah, overall pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. But I do agree with what GT said. Like,
Okay,
it does,
what about
it
you,
is
LD?
quite rushed as we're reaching the end. But again, as I said earlier, I think my review was a bit biased because I do enjoy the casual pacing a lot more. So I had absolutely no issue with the slow start. That's why I gave it a 9. Yeah, I liked how it started casual and then it just grows in intensity. And the timing of the comical scenes and chapters was really well done. There were very few chapters that felt like fillers, and that's why I give it a 9, yeah.
Filler chapters knocked it out. All right, quirkiness. Awesome. 10 out of 10 from both of you guys. Woo. So, why though?
I mean, I think we already talked about it.
I mean,
It's like you have a problem with them giving it a 10.
Yeah, why is
Why
it a
though?
10? Why is it a 10, guys? Why isn't it an 11 out of 10?
oh wow, that's a good question actually. Yeah, why didn't we rate it 11 out of 10? This novel is just so quirky. So there are like so many running jokes. The characters are so funny. Their interactions are really funny. The story itself, it doesn't take. It's just not a serious like novel. I guess in the very beginning, especially. Yeah, so. If I could rate it 11 out of 10, I would actually.
Maybe we're just not quirky enough. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Namu actually rated hers 15 out of 10. That's why she really messed up my numbers.
Oh wow.
Alright, noted. We will keep that in mind for the next one. We will ruin your numbers for you.
I should have learned from Namu.
Yeah, Namu gave it a 15 out of 10, and then Tokki goes, "Hey, Yojj, why is the average like 10.75 out of 10? What happened to your math?" And I was like, "Namu, it's all Namu. She messed it up." Hey, LD, I have a question. So I'm reading your notes, like the nosy person I am, and you say that the characters are funny and lively, very animated, and then you bring in a certain rope. What is this rope? You guys really made it easy for
I
us.
mean, I thought I'd leave you a little tidbit to work off.
Yeah. So what's this rope about?
I think we talked about it in the first podcast episode. There's the one
sorry,
that
we got
Tokki is
fixated on
so
the dolls.
fond of.
The
no,
doll?
the rope.
Or the whip?
No,
It's a rope.
it's a rope. The rope.
But yeah, so
It's the rope that you use to tie up bad guys.
yeah,
You know?
that rope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At some point in the novel, he gains the ability to bring things to life, and so he decided to bring a few of his tools to life. He brought the brick to life as well as the rope, so they've all got their own little personalities, and it's quite fun.
Yeah, the demon binding rope has a life. Yeah, like it's alive now.
Okay.
You know, my novel has a rope as well, but the name of the rope is Tortoise Binding Rope.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's Tortoise
binding rope?
Binding Rope. And I love how like all of you are so innocent. Yeah. No one's reacting. Yeah.
No idea.
I have no idea what you're talking
Tokki.
about.
Okay.
No idea.
Keep it that
We're
way,
very
guys.
innocent.
Okay, moving on.
Watch Kun be like, I get it. Tokki, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I mean, he reads the novel, so he definitely knows as well.
Okay, moving on. Let's move on. let's just move on. Any last personal opinions? Let's do personal opinions. I don't know how to
I
react.
guess I'll go first since mine is half the length.
Yes.
Okay.
Half the length.
I've just really enjoyed reading and working on this novel. The characters are very memorable, and the life lessons will likely stick with me. I would absolutely love to watch a drama adaptation of this novel one day. That's it.
All right.
That was very short. Okay. GT, let's go to your longer version.
Alright, I'll read mine. I really enjoyed translating and reading Young Novel with Monsters thing. The comedy is great, and there are so many times I find myself just laughing at the characters' interactions. It's lighthearted. The story does have a solid hook that kept me interested until, chapter 900-ish. And there were moments when I translate and I can't resist just reading ahead. And even now, there's still a mystery that I haven't really figured out, and that's one of the main reasons that I'm hooked to this novel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normally, for like
Alrighty.
personal opinions, I feel like we get like one-liners, but I liked getting a longer version of it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Most people kind of just go like, I like this novel. You should try it too.
I think I have high standards with my novels.
Yeah, so we noticed.
Yeah. I mean, comparing
just
Lord of the
really-
Rings to a web novel, I mean, yeah.
That just means that this
Excuse me.
novel is
No,
good.
but the thing is, this novel is good, yes, and I really believe that web novels has the potential to be something like Lord of the Rings, and like when I do rate the review novels, I really want other readers to also know what they're getting into before they read, and I think it comes from like how we all started out as readers. We all started out
That's
reading, and
true.
so I really hope that everyone that that reads novels on Wuxiaworld, they can get that really good reading experience that they wanted when they start a new book. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So
I'm convinced.
Yojj, that's a speech that we won't ever come up with,
No,
we don't have the brain cells for that.
No. We've been outclassed and outsmarted, and we were too dumb for this episode.
Yep.
Well,
no.
Thank you
Don't
guys
say
so
that.
much for joining us one last time, or part 2 of this. Thank you,
Thanks for
guys.
having us.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
Alrighty then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thanks for joining us on Wuxiaworld's Teahouse. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit the follow button to stay updated with our latest releases. If you want more tea, hop over to our social media or Discord and send us an email if you want to spill the tea. We'll be back every Friday of each month, so check out our website, wuxiaworld.com. See you next episode. Bye!